Summer routines live or die by how easy they are, and honestly, if something takes too much effort, I'm out. That's why Groons is my go-to. It's my one daily pack of gummies covering my greens, vitamins, and minerals. Plus, it has 6 grams of prebiotic fiber, which is more than 2 cups of broccoli. No mixing powders, no giant pills, no hassle. I just rip open the pack and I'm done. They taste good and they make it easy to stay on top of my health, even when life gets busy. Save up to 52% with the code PODCAST at Groons.co. That's code PODCAST at GRUNS.co.
Holiday tips and fun facts from Paul, Kristen, and Dexter at Total Wine & More.
The custom of bumping glasses with the cheers came from old Rome. When in Rome, cheers!
A pork crown roast with cranberry stuffing deserves a ripe, fruit-forward Cabernet from Paso Robles. Let me help you find the perfect bottle.
Looking for the right wine for a meaningful gift? Consider me your wine concierge.
Whether you're entertaining or just bringing the wine, we'd love to share our always low prices and ridiculous selection with you. This holiday, now offering same-day delivery at TotalWine.com. Cheers!
Welcome back to TalkNorth.com. Thank you for listening. If you can, please download before you listen. It helps our business. I'd also like to thank our producer, Brandon Morton, and let you know if you'd like to sponsor this program or any of the programs on the network, you can reach me at jsouhan47@gmail.com. TalkNorth.com is powered by Bite Squad. Go to bitesquad.com or download their app. Get food to your door in minutes. Use the promo code TalkNorth to get your first delivery free. Talk North gets you your first delivery free.
Yes, I injured my finger yesterday putting on a sock. It was a tight sock.
Welcome to the Russo-Souhan Show. It's 1 week into the season, and people are already panicking, and we're going to tell you that those people might be right.
No.
No, Michael says no. He doesn't want to write off the season after 2 games because he has 80 more games to cover. He's Michael Russo from The Athletic. I'm Jim Souhan from the Star Tribune. This is our hockey show on TalkNorth.com. This is, once again, the most popular show on the network. We had about 140,000 listens across the network last month, and this had a nice percentage of those. Thanks to everybody who's helped make the network and this show a success. Check out Bite Squad, bitesquad.com. Or download their app. Use the promo code TalkNorth, all one word, caps, all caps. TalkNorth, one word, all caps, to get your first delivery free. You'll be helping us out quite a bit if you did that. Thanks also to Delano's Pizza. Our next live show is Wednesday, October 17th, 6 o'clock at Delano's Pizza. Please come down and hang out with us. Michael might even get you a treat. We'll tell you more about that later before the show starts. And thanks to other sponsors, Twill and the Dining Galleria, WizKids.tech, Fixology Repair, and Tony Hoagland, your State Farm agent in Champlin. Thanks to producer Brandon Morton. Let's get to it. Not an auspicious first couple of games, Michael. Talk people off the ledge.
Well, Bruce today, they had a real fun practice actually down there today. I love Boyd over there.
My French Bulldog carries around his Chewy toys as if they're cigars. He looks like James Cagney.
Yeah, no, he does. It's pretty cool. You should like the end of it. He looked like Cheech and Chong.
And by the way, you check my Twitter feed if you want to see the way he looked. He disappeared. I was going to take his picture and embarrass him.
So yeah, practice today. I mean, they had a real fun practice, and man, it's like sometimes it's like Bruce is like that dad that like somehow fools the kid into doing hard work or something. It's like the guys are having a ball today at practice, and next thing you know, it's like the losers kept on having to skate laps and do 20 push-ups, and then they get up and they're all excited about it, and Bruce is kind of skating away they fooled those guys into working hard. So they had a great practice today, and Bruce even said after, look, if these guys are gripping their sticks tight after 2 games, and it is going to be a long year, and look, the only thing I'll tell you is that the Wild were the last time they were winless after 2 games, it was last year, and they made the playoffs, and they did the same thing in 2014, and they went to the second round of the playoffs. So what you've seen so far is definitely not the end-all, be-all, but it has, the fear of it, and I've said this all along, is the fear is that this is just a hangover of last season, and that even in the locker room when you don't change things up. Not only do you have the angst that's already in the fan base, which is concerning because, man, my Twitter account is just like, it's just anxiety on a daily basis, or not even anxiety. It's like the worst type of cynicism that you can ever imagine. Like fans are just like, just up in arms over this team.
Because you can handle the anxiety angle of this without their help.
Yeah, exactly. Let me be the cynical one. If I want to write that Linval Joseph is going to be the fastest player in the Wild, let me do it. You can't. So it's like when you're a kid, like if you saw somebody like punch your brother, how you lost your mind. Like, no, that's my job.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. So the fans are crazy. But what I was saying is that even in the locker room, the concern is that it's a tired team in there. And when I used the word tired in my story yesterday or the day before, I can't remember, and a couple of people commented like, oh, don't make excuses. It's like, to me, they didn't understand what I was saying. The point in my game story that I wrote the other day is that they look like a tired team. They're obviously not a tired team. They're 2 games into the season. So, or do they look like this tired, slow team beyond the fact that they're slow and aging, but that they're just exhausted of each other, exhausted of doing this and knowing what the end of this is all going to be? I don't know. I mean, this is all...
I blame the media.
But again, I mean, we've seen it before with this team, and they figure out a way to get it done, and it's way early in the season. The teams that everybody thought were going to be much better so far have not been, but so they have plenty of time to figure this out. But again, there are flaws on this team that seem to have come into fruition here in the first couple games.
By the way, if Michael's voice fades out at all during this podcast, is because he is lowering the microphone on his headset so he can drink more coffee, because we know that's what Michael needs.
And I'm leaving here to go to a coffee shop, too.
Of course you are.
So,
and you probably came here from a coffee shop.
I did, actually. I came here from...
The amazing thing is we have all these great... we have a technology company sponsoring us. We have a watch repair.
Yeah, where is the coffee shop?
We have a State Farm agent. We have a pizza joint. We have Bite Squad.
It's like all my vices.
It's like except for
coffee.
Yeah.
This is
the most logical show ever for other comedians in cars getting coffee and the Russo-Souhan Show are the 2 shows that should have coffee sponsorships.
The beginning of Comedians in Cars having coffee might be my favorite beginning of any show there is. It's like it's like an unbelievable sensation to see the coffee being poured into the coffee cup.
It's beautiful
with the small the steam rising above the. Next. You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. It's coffee bean porn, and it's very satisfying.
Yeah.
It is amazing how
the sound and the look and
everything about it. I mean,
smell it through the computer.
There are times I take a drink coffee and go, it's all right. I can take it or leave it. But man, the smell and the atmosphere, the steam, the feeling around. Okay, I'm making Michael shake. We're gonna get away from that here really quick. Hey, once again, Bite Squad, bitesquad.com, Bite Squad app. Promo code TALKNORTH, one word, all caps. First delivery free. You'll also be helping out our network quite a bit. Bite Squad, food for your mood. Delivered. Next live show, Wednesday, October 17th, 6 o'clock. Delano's Pizza, downtown Minneapolis. We love doing shows there. Great staff. Big screen TVs everywhere. Bubble hockey, jukebox. You can sit close to us and make fun of us like some of our regulars do. You can sit way down the bar and pretend you don't know us, which is the way I would go about it. Fully stocked bar, gluten-free pizza, great regular pizza. And as my wife was saying, she loves pizza and she loves that style of pizza, kind of that thin, crispy. I don't know what town you identify with. It's not New York. It's not Chicago. Whatever it is, it's my favorite kind, kind of that thin crust with great toppings and a proprietary, Jared has told us this, proprietary tomato sauce that he makes himself because he's not going to give out the recipe.
The night I met him,
yes,
he had to drive from Woodbury to downtown to make the sauce because he doesn't let anybody else know it.
So join us at Delano's Pizza and please order. And here's the cool thing, you can really support our sponsors by ordering Delano's Pizza through Bite Squad. I did it the other day, and the great thing is it shows up like just looking just as good as if they just walked across the restaurant to your table. No cheese was spilled. Nothing was out of place. It was really cool. So is there, the eternal question for any team that doesn't look like it's playing well, is there a move they can make? Is there something they can do? The guys just have to play better.
Well, I mean, of course, there's moves to make. I'm of the belief that you don't go out and trade for William Nylander. I mean, I don't think he's an $8 million player at all. I mean, this is a guy that scored like 2 or 3 playoff goals in 13 next to Austin Matthews. I don't see, and if you make that move, he better be the star, and I don't see him being a star. Now, I haven't seen him a ton, but I mean, are you going to trade? You'd have to trade dollar for dollar. He wants $8 million a year. If you're going to pay him $8 million a year, you're going to have to get rid of 2 of your top players. I really hope the Wild are not thinking about doing something that crazy. The other thing is he's in Sweden right now, and so just you make a move like that, and you're getting off 2 impact players off your roster. You are going to have to get him a work visa. He's going to need time to get into shape. I don't know. I'm not for that. So what moves are out there? That jury's out. I think this is the team right now. I really do. That's actually something that we're going to probably write this week in The Athletic is kind of a story on really analyzing the whole William Nylander situation and whether or not he makes sense for the Minnesota Wild. That's something we're doing. By the way, The Athletic right now, we have an unbelievable promotion for you that if you go to theathletic.com/IKnowRusso, $40, I think it comes to $40, so basically $3 a month. It's 40% off. So actually, that would be less than
Wow.
40. And I mean, again, everybody I think at this point knows what The Athletic is. The model is very simple: no ads, no pop-ups, no autoplay videos, and just awesome stories. I wrote one last week on Nick Seeler that I'm still think that a lot of people would love to read. Aaron Portzline in Columbus. That's the cool part of this model is that you get to read everything that's going on. We have the best beat writers in the country for hockey and all the sports, but you get to go to read those type of stories. And Pierre LeBrun and Burnside. But Portzline wrote a story on Lyle Odoline today that's one of the most amazing stories you'll ever read. And it's funny, I let him, back in February or March, I got in touch with Aaron because I knew he had a relationship with Lyle, and I heard Lyle was basically unconscious in a hospital in Pittsburgh. And then what Aaron turned this into is absolutely unbelievable. It's an amazing story, and we've got all that on there. And it's funny that I won't say which newspaper, but it's not the Strib. But there's another one in town that's got a paywall now, and I'm telling you, Jim, it's like I went to their site the other day, and you can't even like go up and down the pages. Like without things just popping in your face, you can't read the text and everything, and it makes you just not even want to go there. So, I mean, that's the cool part of The Athletic is that there's just, it's the cleanest experience ever. So, again, theathletic.com/IKnowRusso, and you'll get a 40% discount for the first year.
How about if I just walk up to you and say, I know Russo, will you buy me a coffee or something?
Yeah, I'll buy you a subscription. How about that?
Wow, how about that?
I did that today with somebody. I actually don't mind that. I like when people, I remember this kid at the state fair comes up to me and goes, I'm misreading in the Strib. I loved it, blah, 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 blah. And I said, there's a student discount, theathletic.com/student or whatever. And then he walked away and I'm like, give me your phone. And I actually did it for him. So I, pulled out my credit card and paid for it. So I'm so proud of this company and what we've done there. So again, theathletic.com/IKnowRusso.
You're like Starbucks Santa.
Yeah, I am. And that, speaking of which, at the next Delano's show, I was trying to think of some cool stuff that we could do to get more people out there. And one thing that it might be kind of neat is, so I'm packing up my place right now because I did sell, by the way.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. So I'm packing up. I got to move in a couple of weeks just to an apartment while I build this house. And I got all these hockey books. And so I was thinking, it's kind of like every other show at Delano's, I think that I've read. So I think that what I should do is bring 3 or 4 of these hockey books, and then when we have giveaways during the show, maybe if you ask a live question or a question that makes me mad, Vicky, you'll get your choice of a book. So
good idea.
Yeah.
That'll be cool. So
That'd
everybody come out.
Cool.
Come out. We've had great crowds out there. It's just a lot of fun.
Or I could just buy you a drink.
Yeah, we can do that too. I appreciate you doing that to promote the podcast, Michael. Let's get to a question I have about this team very quickly. Thanks to our producer Brandon Morton. Please download before you listen. It's a better listening experience. It's good for us as well. Also, if you are interested in sponsoring a program on the network, and let's face it, the Viking Show and the Russo Show and some of the other shows have starting to kind of fill up with ads, and they sell at a decent price. If you want to be involved with the network at a very, very low price per month, with no long-term obligation, sponsor the Kevin Gorg Show. Frozen Fantasy with Dan Myers is really cool. Dibble Dabble with Ryan Shaver and Jordan Taylor, or one of our other newer shows. We can get you in very cheap, just kind of get a newer show rolling. So the lack of team speed on this team, is that Fletcher? Is that bad luck? Is that drafting low? What's the main problem there?
Well, I think it's a little bit of everything. I mean, there's no doubt the last couple of years they've given up speed. I mean, even the Jordan Schraders of the world, who I'm not saying he should be on this team, but the guy was super fast. And then all of a sudden you couple that with getting rid of Eric Holla, and you couple that with getting rid of Marco Scandella, and you couple that with losing Mikey Riley, and then you exasperate that maybe by going out this offseason and adding Matty Hendricks and Eric Fair, who aren't the swiftest of foot, and then all of a sudden you add to that the aging fact that their guys just got older in this team. Mikko's gotten slower. Stalled right now is definitely not skating as well as we've seen him skate in the past. They just have this, Nino just doesn't look very fast right now. But they're also not playing fast. So there is something, I know it sounds like an excuse, but you don't have to be the fastest team in the league to look fast on the ice. And so the Wild are compounding matters by being this slow team, by coughing up pucks and then being kind of pinned in their own zone. And they just, because they're not using skating as units, because they don't have any puck support whatsoever in the neutral zone right now, they're not coming up the ice together with speed, and it just makes them look slower and slower. So I think that's the big thing, is that they've got to, I mean, you want an example of puck support, just watch the first two games of the Coyle Greenway and Eriksson Ek line. There are times where Coyle looks like a man alone on the island. And so that line just didn't work, and they're going to have to figure things out. There's a lot of things I don't like right now about their team. I don't like the way their power play is playing. I don't like some of the personnel decisions that they made the other day on the 4-on-3. I don't like the shootout personnel decisions that they made the other day in the shootout. There's just a lot of reasons why they're 0-1-1. But I will say again, like I get that in the playoffs the Wild have had trouble scoring, and maybe that is the reality of this team, is that they are a team that just they don't score easily. I think we do know that. That's one big reason why they're god awful in overtimes the last 2 or 3 years. But we have seen this team score in the regular season. Last year, they were top third in the league in the regular season. 2 years ago, if you remember, they were the most balanced team in the league scoring. They had the most, if I remember, times in the league that they scored 3 and 4 goal games, 5 goal games. Remember, it was constant 2 years ago that they were scoring 4 or 5 a game. So this team has scored. And that's why, to me, they've got to put themselves in better positions to score, and we'll see it happen again. But the problem is that now you got Chicago coming in here on Thursday, and Chicago is feeling it right now. Last year they started with 15 goals in their first 2 games, 10 in their first. This year they started with 15 goals in their first 3 games, with Kane and Taves combining for 9. The fact that Taves has suddenly kind of reinvigorated himself after starting to look kind of done last year.
Started looking like Koivu. Did I say that out loud? I didn't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So, so you got tough. Then you go to Nashville, or you got Carolina coming to town. Which, by the way, speaking, I mean, Carolina is a fun team. I watched them the other day. They were getting goals from people I'd never heard of. Svechnikov scores his first NHL goal. Have heard of him. He's going to be an absolute superstar. He jumps in the glass for a celebration. So you know what the Hurricanes do at the end of the game? They line up on the blue line, or the red line, do the salute to the fans, and then as a 20-man unit go sprint to the other end and jump in the glass. And I have heard a couple players kind of roll their eyes and laugh at that. not saying which team do that. Like, to me, that is fun.
That's fun.
That is the type of thing that can rally a team all year to make it fun. Trust me, I covered the 95-96 Panthers when Scott Mellenby killed the rat in the locker room, and then they scored 2 goals against Calgary, and they called it a rat trick. And the Wild seemed to the Panthers seemed to rally around that all year, to the point the fans rallied around that all year and started throwing rats on the ice. That team had no right going to the Stanley Cup final that year. And this is the type of thing, after their first win, that could actually get a team, kind of motivate them the rest of the year to do fun stuff. They're a fun young team. So, like, to me, there's nothing to make fun of there.
No.
Maybe if certain teams in this league did fun stuff like that and didn't take themselves so seriously, they'd be better.
I wonder who you're talking about.
Nobody in particular.
And you know what? I want to get to the Matthews-Kane duel, because that was just a blast. Speaking of fun hockey, let me thank Twill in the Edina Galleria. I'm wearing my Johnny O shirt that I got there. I have Barber shirts. I have Johnny O shirts. I have underwear I bought there. Michael doesn't like me to bring it up, but I have underwear I bought there. It's the most comfortable stuff I've ever had. Check out Twill in the Edina Galleria and Twill on Instagram, twillmn.com on the internet.
Jim usually doesn't like to shop for clothes. I don't like it when he shops for clothes either, because he used to buy stuff I'd want to throw out. That's why I'm so glad he's found Twill in the Edina Galleria. He likes shopping there because of the comfortable environment and the friendly staff. He finds clothes that actually fit him properly and are high-quality brands that will look great for years, whether he's golfing or working. Our favorites so far are Peter Millar, Johnny O, and Barber. We spend our money at Twill because we love the clothes and we love the no-pressure shopping. Drop by Twill in the Edina Galleria for the best shopping experience and best clothes you'll find in the Twin Cities.
The Matthews-Kane shootout was fabulous.
Yeah. I mean, that was that game the other night. So 7-6, Toronto wins in overtime. In the last minute and a half of that game, Kane ties it up. Matthews scores the go-ahead goal, and then Kane ties it up again. And then in overtime, 14 or 15 seconds in, Morgan Riley scores a goal past Cam Ward, who, by the way, has just, the Wild better hope Cam Ward plays on Thursday. He just looks done, and that's the problem with the Blackhawks this year, is that they are going to probably have to score 7 a game to win. They've gone to overtime all 3 games this year. They're getting horrific goaltending with Crawford still out, and but it was fun. So Kane scores the tying goal. Matthews scores and does the whole hand to the ear thing real animatedly to the crowd in Chicago. So then Kane comes back, scores like 15 seconds later to tie it again and send it to overtime, and he does it. Yep. And I took pictures of it and put it on Twitter and said who did it better. But so that those fabulous guys. I mean, they're just unbelievable hockey players, both American, which is neat. And Toronto right now just looks like they're going to be, if they could learn how to play defense, they're going to be an unbelievable hockey team. And this is with Nylander hurt. I mean, he right now is not helping themselves, because that team is still as exciting and prolific. Tavares has stepped in there, already has a hat trick. I mean, huge signing for them.
My friend Steve Simmons, the longtime Canadian sports writer,
love Steve Simmons.
He tweeted out something that, hey, that Toronto Chicago game, that's what it was like covering the Gretzky Oilers against the Flames back in the day.
Yeah, Steve knows everybody. He covered a lot of North Stars games back in the day, and has been around for absolute ever. And he's one of those columnists, old school columnists too. Like, he doesn't mind who he pisses off; he just does it, which I know sometimes rubs fans the wrong way. But I think
that's
all
okay.
of us,
they get over it.
All of us in the business absolutely respect Steve.
Absolutely. Let's do some Twitter questions. Once again, let's thank WhizKids.tech, WHIZKIDS.tech. They've been sponsoring our programs across the network for a while now. We've gotten to know Michael Thanert and his staff. They're great. And cool thing, this is a startup that has had great success. It's growing fast, and now they have a billboard on Washington Avenue. So this is one of the stories you cheer for.
Hello, Minnesota sports fans. This is Michael Thanert, founder and CEO of WhizKids. WhizKids is a Minneapolis-based managed IT, hosted VoIP, and cloud services provider. Businesses today require fast response times, skilled support staff, clear communication, and technology recommendations that align with their business goals. At WhizKids, we do this each and every day with our clients. When you call into our help desk for support or work with one of our higher-level engineers on a complex issue, you'll find our staff personable and ready to roll up their sleeves to help you solve your technology problems. Reach out to WizKids today to find out how we can help your business meet your technology goals. Visit us online at wizkids.tech. That's wizkids.tech. WizKids, make it happen.
Unless you have something else, we'll get to some Twitter questions, Michael.
No, go for it.
All right, from Wicked Ginger, which is a great handle. If this season gets off the ugly start it feels like we're about to have, how soon can we expect changes, and what might those changes be or look like?
Again, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that Paul Fenton's looking, but right now everybody's close to the cap, and again, if you're the only impactful one I can think of is Nylander, and I wouldn't do it. I just don't think he's the guy. If he wanted $5.5 million, I think he'd be the guy. But if he wanted $5.5 million, Toronto would sign him by now. I do think it's an absolute hypocritical joke that Brendan Shanahan, of all people, guy, and I love Brendan, but this is somebody that asked for a trade. He had contract squabbles in his career. He played a pre-salary cap era on a Detroit team that, yes, won cups, but also had a fourth line where every guy was making like $5 million a year. For him to come out and essentially say that really William Nylander needs to be a team player and not be so selfish, essentially, I just think it's an absolute hypocritical statement on Brendan's part. But that's just what I think about that.
From our friend Alec, who comes to a lot of the live shows, what will it take to make this team more successful? We've talked about that a lot. Is there any other aspect of that question you want to get to?
Ask the question again. I'm sending out a tweet right now and I'm distracted.
Oh, that's shocking. From Alec, our friend, he's asked, what will it take to make this team more successful? I know we've already...
Superstars, speedier players, younger players. Again...
Yeah, I know.
Hey, by the way, Philip, you 2 games in the season, you think Grandy is a superstar right now? Have you noticed him on the ice? Because I certainly haven't. That is one
thing. He's the Anthony Barr.
That is one thing I would say about the Colorado game. That if anything, Wicked Ginger, to answer your question, that immediately, Paul Fenton should see is that he does not have a go-to scorer. That game, there was ample opportunity for the Wild to take a game that they had no right being in, and that Devan Dubnyk provided them to be in, and tie that game up. And nobody stepped up. Nobody even came close to stepping up. And that's what they don't have. Back in the day, I remember the Wild could suck for 2.5 periods, and Marian Gaborik would just come out and break away, wrist shot, goal. And that's what the Wild don't have. So that's one thing to answer Alex's question that they lack. But these guys have to be better. I mean, I know it's 2 games in the season. I keep on prefacing that, but I mean, if you're Paul Fenton, probably seen enough from Nino and Charlie right now. They are what they are. And Nino's been a very big disappointment these first 2 games. And so now they're on a line together going into the Chicago game with Jordan Greenway. And we'll see if they can get it done. I mean, Nino and Charlie have played well together before. They're on a huge line. There's just no excuses. They need these guys to step up right now. And so far, 2 games in the season, they absolutely have not.
You are correct there. Thanks to Fixology Repair, fixologyrepair.com, 3rd floor of the Mall of America by Nordstrom's, and downtown in the Skyway just south of the Wells Fargo Center.
There are some things in life that you just can't live without. Now, whether it's a special piece of jewelry, a watch, or even your smartphone, you want it in working condition. At Fixology Repair, we are committed to restoring your pieces so that everything works or fits the way it ought to. Watch servicing, chain repair, and broken screen replacements are just a few of the services that we offer at our 2 locations, Mall of America and the Skyway in downtown Minneapolis. Please visit us at fixologyrepair.com or at fixologymn on Twitter to learn more. Mention this ad and get a 10% discount on our services.
From our friend Bill, there are a lot of alarming issues on the Wild right now, but Stahl looks noticeably slower to me. Where does he rank on your list of concerns?
Not nearly as big yet, because I've seen him start this way before. I do remember the first 2 games of the last couple of years, he kind of looked like this. And maybe it just takes him a little while to get those legs churning. I don't know. Good news is that Carolina comes to town on Saturday, and so that he's going to absolutely be motivated for that game. Of my list of concerns, he's on the bottom because I have a lot of respect for him, but I completely agree with the statement by that Twitter follower that he does not look good right now, and I didn't think he looked good in camp either.
From Russo Slacks with the most important and insightful question of this entire podcast. When is the housewarming party? I'll bring the pickles. He'll be invited, right?
He doesn't even come to our podcast.
I know, but this is an opportunity to really stalk you.
You know, my guess is that if
here's the thing: you don't need to invite him. He's going to be in the bushes photoshopping as you walk through the house.
There are people I've blocked on Twitter that I'd sooner invite to that housewarming party.
Well, there you go, Mark. Glad
I just feel that Russo Slacks mocks me.
Well, he does. That's the point of his existence. Michael's already off.
I'm sorry. I'm taking.
He's tweeting.
I took
again.
a picture of you with Boyd, and I'm trying to put it out there, but I'm trying to find the proper emoji.
I think it is an emoji all by itself. My dog's a little demanding of my time and my attention. From Mark Chapin, what can you tell us about the player the Wild received in the Olofsson trade? Good question.
Is probably the same as every minor leaguer the Wild have ever traded for. It's just kind of a throw-in to, hey, you take this guy. Yeah. I mean, I usually, at least under the old regime, I remember when they traded for whoever they traded. They've had a couple trades at Boston for guys at Solitaro, and you kind of write.
I thought every trade was with
and you even write somebody in the Wild organization don't even worry about it. It's more like he's just here.
Yeah.
Now Will, though, it seemed like Montreal fans were upset to lose him. He apparently could fly. He's scored offensively. He hasn't debuted yet. They're working on a work visa for him to get to Iowa, but to me, it was probably it's a heck of a trade by whoever made the trade, whether it was Curver, Shep, or Fenton, because regardless, just salary wise, I got to think that Craig Leopold's a little happier. I mean, one guy makes $70,000 in the minors, the other guy makes $725 in the minors. So, and they got Montreal to take the entire thing, which is just shocking because I didn't think they'd be able to trade him. I think Ben Hankinson, also the agent, the new agent for Gustav Olsson, deserves a lot of credit. I think he called around and got him that gig, and so was able to get it done. But in terms of the Wild, I mean, look, he's got skill, this Bitten guy, and he's got speed, and the more the merrier because, Justin Kluse, Sam Annis, Kyle Rao, Matt Reed, they all had good camps. But, is anyone going to be somebody that can come up, maybe Matt Reed, but somebody that can come up here and make an immediate difference? But still, Bitten probably goes there, and if he doesn't play great right away, he's going to be 5th or 6th on that depth chart. So, but he's young, and he's on the first year of a 3-year deal, so maybe one day he could turn into somebody that we actually see here, but I don't think it'll be anytime soon.
We'd love to welcome Bite Squad as the newest sponsor of the Talk North Podcast Network. Bite Squad delivers food from hundreds of Twin Cities restaurants, including Delano's Pizza. Order online at bitesquad.com. Download their app and get food to your door in minutes. And for a limited time, they are offering free delivery to our listeners on your first order by using the code TALKNORTH. All caps, one word, Talk North. Bite Squad, food for your mood delivered. Another good Twitter question, Derek Felska. Which is the bigger concern for the Wild right now, the absence of a workable third line or the lack of team speed throughout its lineup throughout the first 2 games?
The latter, but the former is a concern. I mean, it is just hilarious. Somebody wrote on my comment on my story, maybe after game one, is said something, and I think it was meant as a shot at me, but I didn't take it as a shot. I actually agreed. Is this is why every write-up in the preseason is just, doesn't mean anything. And it's true. I remember the one year that Dominic Moore was the number one center that might play with Dimitri
and it's that way
Gaborik
in every sport.
And it is true. I mean, all camp long we're the unbreakable Coyle, Greenway, Eriksson, Ek line. They played every game together. 6 games together they played. They were never separated in practice, blah, blah, blah. And here we are 2 games in the season. They had to be broken up because all 3 were terrible. I mean, and remember, the whole talking points from Bruce when I had him at the State Fair in August was, oh my God, we can turn Mikko into this offensive dynamo again because we're going to convince him to let Eriksson Ek and Coyle and Greenway take a lot of the defensive responsibilities. And what's happened here? They couldn't play together. And now it's Nino, Coyle, and Greenway, which is another option that he was thinking at the start of the year. Eventually Granlund always seems to wind up back with Stahl and Zucker, but right now he's going to be with Parisi and Koivu, and we'll see if Eriksson Ek can go up to that top line with Zucker and Stahl and add some speed and a shot off the wing and things like that. But he's got to be better, man. I mean, right now Eriksson Ek and Greenway look like 2 guys that should be in Iowa. And so it's up to these 2 to play well, or there should be moves. There's no reason that Greenway should just be anointed onto this team. He hasn't played a minute of minor league hockey and frankly wasn't the greatest in college. So there's just no reason. So if he's not ready, send him down and get somebody up here that is. And Matt Reed would probably right now be a good player to put on this team. Not the same position, but you can easily move Coyle to center. Or same thing, if Eriksson Ek continues to not play well, then he's got to be the guy that go. I mean, remember the road to Milwaukee was through Nashville, so I'll be interested to see if he's got a quick trigger finger on these guys.
From State of Hockey, kind of following up on your statement about Greenway, do you see Greenway making his way to Iowa this year?
I do think that's something, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If he's sent to the minors. And is exchanged for Cunnin at some point, all the merrier. I think the Wild really could, I think the Wild would love Cunnin to go spend half a year down there like they did with Alex Tuck last year or the year before, or definitely not last year, 2 years ago. But they might be forced to put Cunnin on this team at some point because the one thing they do lack is an energy guy that plays like him. And an NHL shot. He was so good on the bumper in practices during training camp, and that's one area where I just think Coyle is horrible. If Coyle shouldn't be on the power play unless he's in front of the net, but that bumper, it's painful to watch. I mean, he played the bumper 3 years ago, and a certain coach came up to me in the press room once, and he's like, "Coyle's been on the bumper all year, and he's got 3 assists. What's that say? That's." And he's just miscast there. It's just, and if you don't know what I mean, I'm talking he's high above the circles in between, and he gets the puck, and he can't spin around to take whipping shots, and even when he makes the pass, he looks awkward, and that's kind of what I meant. Scheifele is a different animal up there. He is so good from where he is in that position on the power play in Winnipeg, and Coyle's not Scheifele.
From Jack, we have a few questions. They're all kind of about team speed. I'm trying to find a different way they might be phrased. From Derek G. Johnson, if the season turns downward after Stahl, who would be the first to go in the rebuilding process?
Well, again, I mean, it's impossible to rebuild this team. It just is. They can't have a massive rebuild. There's no way to trade all these $4 or $5 million players. They've made their bed. If Nino, let me just tell you, Nino is untradeable right now. Okay, he's a $5.25 million player. These guys have to up their stock to be able to trade. So, I mean, just again, to me, you don't need me to answer this question. In a year where you move guys going into the trade deadline, it's guys in the last year of their deals that are moved. And right now, the only one really in the last year of his deal is Eric Stahl. I mean, Nate Prosser. Eric Ferrer, yes, these guys are assets, but Stahl would be the one big one, and maybe even if you have to move him at some point this year because this season goes belly up, maybe you can even have him come back in the offseason and sign a free agent contract. Who knows? Maybe they wouldn't want him at that point. But there's, I don't know. They're not rebuilding.
Right.
Come up with a different word, just like I need to come up with a different word than tweak.
Question from Lonnie, known as Generous Carriage on Twitter. Do want to thank Tony Hoagland, your State Farm agent in Champlin, Hoaglund. Handles my insurance, and he handles Michael's insurance.
Hey, Minnesota sports fans. This is your local State Farm agent, Tony Hoagland. I need you all to ask yourselves this question. If you're in an at-fault car accident and you are sued for $700,000, how much of that $700,000 will my current insurance company pay? If you are unsure or can't answer all $700,000, you need to give us a call. State Farm has been #1 in car insurance since World War II and #1 in homeowners insurance since 1964. For a no-obligation review of your current policies, call us at 763-421-4900 or check out our website at www.champlininsurance.com.
So Lonnie's question is, why on God's green earth was Koivu on the ice during 3-on-3 overtime? I get he was 13 out of 23 on faceoffs, also missed an open half of the net in OT. Are there really no other forwards Boudreau can send out over the boards in 3-on-3? Yuck.
Well, I mean, I think at this point we know that Koivu and Suter are going to be out there. I mean, that's just the way it is. I was shocked Nino got out there the other day. But I'm trying to think. I mean, obviously Granlund saw ice time on the 3-on-3. Coyle I think did. I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Granlund definitely did. Stahl did. Nino did. So, you're basically saying, all right, Greenway, Eriksson Ek. Obviously, none of those fourth liners will be. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Oh, Zucker. So, I mean, Koivu's going to get time out there. I mean, that's just a reality. But you're right. I mean, when you do the analytics of their 3-on-3 overtime losses, the guys that have been on the ice the most are Zucker, Koivu, and Suter. Now, two of them have a common denominator, and they're not the fleetest of foot. And Zucker's, maybe it's bad luck, maybe it's that he's not the greatest defensively, whatever it is. But it got to the point that they were losing so many games the second that Zucker got on the ice that last year they started just putting him on the last shift of the thing. I would still rather putting Zucker out there, and if you at least he's got a chance to score. My problem with Koivu and Suter is they just never seem to know when to get off the ice. The other thing, though, with the Koivu one is, I said to somebody in the press box, how many times do we have to see on a 4-on-3, a 5-on-3, a left-handed guy at that near post bank it off the post or the side of the net or miss the net because they get handcuffed?
So I'm not the only one bothered by that?
It's because they don't have any right shots on this team. And your only option at forward would be Coyle. Well, you don't want Coyle down there. So to me, it's like I think make a change. Put Spurgeon down there. Put Dumba down there. They don't always have to be just up at the top of the left circle. In that situation, I'd rather on a 5-on-3, 4-on-3, if you're going to put a Koivu or a Stahl or even a Zach, I want somebody that can slam dunk the puck from the post on their forehand on a cross-crease pass. And I know that Mikko looks awful there because he missed an empty net, but he's a left-handed shot. The puck came across the crease. He caught it at an odd angle, and he put it off the post. And yes, you'd love him to score in that situation, but you want a right-handed shot in that situation. And we see it over and over and over and over and over again. How many times last year? I think it was Mikko, the same thing. I pointed it. I wrote a whole story on it, on it's absurd that they don't have a Dumba or a Spurgeon down there. And I just think in that situation, the other thing I didn't like about that whole 4-on-3 was why are you starting 2D? Start Parise, Stahl, and Granlund with Dumba. Why does Suter have to be on the ice in that situation?
He's friends with the owner.
And that is another, that was, again, I think that was Dean that made that decision. So, these are things the coaches have to me, do a better job of.
Sam Randall asked the most important question to date that we've ever heard on the podcast. Who is better looking, Manny Fernandez or Kim Janssen? Kim Janssen. It's not close. Kim Janssen's a good looking man.
Yeah, whatever happened to Kim Janssen?
If
Manny was good looking, he offset it by his demeanor.
After Brad May punched him, we never heard from him again.
Yeah, I know.
Basically.
He essentially did. He just gone.
Yeah.
He retired, and he was actually still living here the year that he was retired, his first year. Because his child of his went to school with one of our old Star Tribune photographer's children. So I knew that he was still around. But isn't it amazing? I was doing this thing today, and Jake Jensen, our athletic, one of our contributors, was helping me out doing some fact checking. But I'm doing this huge, awesome story on Matt Hendricks and what type of human being this guy is, which, by the way, is a human being that's golden. But what's amazing is that he's one of 5 or 6 guys from the 2000 drafts, not including guys like Gabrick and Cronwall that are sort of medically unfit to play and are technically still getting paid but aren't playing. But he's one of 5 or 6 guys from that 2000 draft that's in it. And we started talking about, Jake and I just online today, texting back and forth about, writing, slacking, whatever it's called, back and forth about, guys that just suddenly disappeared this year, Vermette and Paul Martin and, John Michael Lyles retired last year from the 2000 draft, Dominic Moore. And and I've talked about this before on the podcast. It's unbelievable to me how unforgiving an end of a career can be, or how just kind of sad. You just disappear in the sunset. Very few people get the press conference, get the cool big story to end. It's just you're gone. Antoine Vermette played a long time in the league, just gone. No goodbye, just gone. Paul Martin, somebody who won a couple national championships at the U, just gone. It just ends. There's no cool Mike Modano moment. And I don't know. It's just one of those things that's always been fascinating to me. How many NHLers that had these great careers? Brian Ralston's one that pops into mind. It's just, they disappear. It's going to happen to Marion Gaborik.
Right.
Gaborik, could have been a hero here. 10 years, $80 million. He turned it down. That's why it's like I was shooting the breeze with Koivu the other day about the whole Joe Mauer thing and how I think Mauer would be a fool to leave here. Now, Mauer, if he went to the Yankees for 1 year and then retired, the Star Tribune would blow it up into a huge story because, of course. But most people don't get like that. Like if I was Miko, my 2 years are up, adios, and just, go off and enjoy the Wild, singing your praises down the stretch.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's along those lines. Here's a question from Sam Randall. For both of us, regardless of sport covered, who are a few of our all-time best people we've covered? You want me to go first? Do you have something off the top?
Well,
of your head?
I've in Florida.
I'll go ahead while you think about it. As a baseball beat writer, I get to know people so well. I talk to them for hours a day. I still stay in touch with Corey Koski. Torrey Hunter was one of my favorites. Eddie Guardado was one of my favorites. And these are people it's different than it is today, and it's different than in most sports. Just like you with Wild players, you sit there and you get to know. You see them away from the rink. I had lunch with these people. I talked to them. They told me private stuff that I would never make public. It was there were really good relationships, good working relationships back in those days. I really enjoyed Paul Molitor on both professional and personal levels. Terry Ryan was great. The Vikings I covered that I really got to know well. At the time I really got along great with John Randall and Chris Carter. Before I left the beat and kind of there was some distance created. But really, the thing about hockey and baseball is you can actually get to know people really well by working the locker room every day.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I will say in Minnesota, Ralston, Todd White, Curtis Foster, Mark Parrish. I said Ralston.
You did?
I'll say him 3 more times. Nate Prosser, absolute best human being I think I've ever covered in my life. That guy, I mean, he doesn't even swear. Like if he, I mean, I'm not kidding you. Like there's jokes in the line. He when he trash talks, he says that he says the F word, but all players say that he says frick.
That's so funny.
Which I'm sure I can't imagine. Like if he says frick you to a player, like what the trash talking back would be. But Ryan Carter, just tremendous guy. Nick Schultz.
Nick was great.
Yeah,
I really
unbelievable
liked Nick.
guy. Trying to think, Spurge. Just these are great people. I mean, I think it's fair to say, like, as much as I at times dislike talking to Miko after games, I have an immense amount of respect for him. I can't even convey to you what a good guy this guy is to just shoot the breeze with. When you go to lunch with him, he is liked in that locker room. And again, I have a soft spot for him too because he's the first Wild player I'd ever met. 2005, I walk in the locker room. First person I introduced myself after Brian Ralston was Miko, and he barely spoke English. And I've known him now for 13 something years. So I love him. In Florida, same thing. It's endless. Scott Mellenby, Brian Scrudlin, Trevor Kidd, unbelievable guy. Again, Parrish, I had Dino down there. Paul, I mentioned Paul Laws. I mean, there are a gazillion guys down there. Rob Niedermeyer, just awesome dudes. I mean, that's the incredible thing of covering hockey. And you and I have had this discussion a gazillion times, but I would never cover any other sport. It is such a different animal when you cover hockey. These guys, I mean, today I shot the Breeze. I'm going to do a huge story on Patterson next week, who the heck this guy is. And I shot the Breeze. Sorry, Brandon. You might want to write down that number. Kind of let the SH word out.
S.
I shot the Breeze with him forever. A guy like Sealer. But it's like my editors and even my coworkers at The Athletic are they can't believe how like the relationships you have in hockey players. If you want to ask a question of a player, doesn't matter how big the player is, you could just text him, and he'll write you back in a second. There are times where I'll be just sitting there, and a player from another team that I've never even covered will text me and ask me something. And we're talking like the superstars of the superstars. You can't do that in any other sport.
Nope.
It's a constant thing, and it's been that way my entire career with every single player that I've ever covered. And there's just something about hockey where it's this pro sport, but it's like these guys don't take it. Maybe it's also just working in this market where it's just, it's kind of a more intimate type of market here. Even Patterson, this guy played in the Montreal Canadiens, which is just the mecca of bilingual media, just you're under the microscope constantly. And now here he comes to another hockey market, and I think you could tell right away, it's like, wow, thank God it's not like Montreal, that type of thing. So.
Twitter question from Mother of Cheese. You got to come out to another show, Miss Cheese. Which puppy was the cutest? Well, Boyd. And, Boyd's never had his butt kicked by a ferocious Yorkie.
Is she talking about like the Wild had the secondhand hounds thing yesterday?
That's probably, but I just took it as a compliment.
I didn't get to go to it. I was not invited, so I would have loved to have gone there. I probably would have left with a dog.
Very important question from Brett Winthizer. Have you started preemptively stretching your socks out before you try to put them on? Because that was the highlight of last week's show. I got to tell you,
this pair that I'm wearing today is so tight.
And if you missed last week's episode, Michael admitted that he hurt his finger putting on socks.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, actually, that could be, we could have a little thing like, so I need boxes right now to move. So if you come to Delano's Pizza next Wednesday with a box, like this could be like if you come with canned goods. If you come with a box, I'll give you a book.
Ooh.
Maybe we come with that idea.
Ooh, I kind of like that.
Yeah. Or no, we need to come up with something. Or maybe like either a book or I could buy you a drink or something. Because I need boxes right now. That could be
box
like
for
that
a bump.
could be a thing.
Box for a bump.
Yeah.
Something like that. From Tyler Scott, any more milestones we should be looking forward to this year? Goals, games, etc.
Well, Stahl's close to 400 goals. Granny just had 400 games. Not that I could think of. Mikko could hit 1,000, I believe, toward the end of the year if he doesn't miss any time. I'm trying to stay on Mikko's good side because one of the stories I want to do next year is go to like Finland and hang out at his compound and do a big story. So. Did I say that out loud?
You said that out loud.
Yeah. From athletic.com/IKnowRusso to read it.
From Zach Brown, knee-jerk reaction, but would it be bad for the Wild to be bad this year? And would the owner even understand this? What would he do if they were in the bottom of the league this year?
Remember when we first started doing the Russo-Souhan Show? I remember us doing an entire show in the press box of the X talking about like tanking for was it McDavid or Matthew? It was McDavid.
I think it was McDavid.
Yeah. And here we are again with Hughes, and we're having the same thing. But the way that question is raised is hilarious because I've always said it would be better for this. This team has never bottomed out. It just does not even get the opportunity to go get studs. I mean, it's just crazy. Well, every other team, it's like, and then you have these teams in the league where they just like bottom. It's like they bottom out for a year, get a star, and then they're great immediately again. We're almost seeing that with like teams like Colorado. You think the Colorado fan base right now is upset that remember the pain that it took them to get Nathan MacKinnon? I'm thinking not. I'm thinking they're very excited that they have Nathan MacKinnon. And the Wild never get a player like that. And then when they have a chance to go get a goal scorer, Brock Besser, I know it was hard for them to see him. He only grew up 15 minutes from the arena.
That was it? That was the end?
Yeah,
we never know when you hit the end.
Yeah.
Let's see. We're going to do a couple more questions. And do you have a final thought, or should we end on a Twitter question?
That was kind of my final thought.
That was okay. But Russo Slacks just tweeted, I bet Boyd could come up with a final thought. From Mike Swanger, I can't believe I'm tweeting this 2 games in, but how long until Bruce is on the hot seat?
God help me. That would be a bad day. That guy isn't the coach of this team.
Ted Dose asked a similar question.
I don't doubt that he's eventually going to be on the hot seat. I hope it's at least toward the end of the year, when he gets through the season. He's got 2 years left on his deal. But I'm sorry. Does anybody really look at this team right now and say this is Bruce's fault?
No.
I mean, just you as fans, look at this team right now. I mean, did Bruce make them not skate suddenly? is Bruce the reason why this team can never get past the first round in 6 straight years, even though he's far in the playoffs for 6 straight years, even though he's only been here for 2? I do know there's been 3 coaches that have coached the Wild in the playoffs, not just Bruce. Did Bruce make Zucker, Coyle, and Nino get goose eggs last year? Did Bruce make Spurgeon and Suter hurt? Look, he's got his faults. I think it's hindsight's 2020, but I know a lot of people still question why the heck Zach was on the ice at the end of that 6-1 or 6-2 game. But what were you gonna, I find that hypocritical too, because I'm one of those guys. It's like I'm amazed that like you could be at the end of a 40-0 football game and the star quarterback's still out there, or you could be up 40-0 and the star quarterback's out there. Like in hockey, what are you going to do? You're going to like if he sits Zach in that situation. And now I'm kind of going on a rant because somebody in the organization once mentioned this to me. But you sit Zach in there, and now Granlund gets hurt, and then that person be like, well, why is Granlund on the ice? Or if Granlund was benched and Zucker got hurt, why is Zucker on the ice? I mean, you can't. It's hockey. It was 6 minutes left in the game. You're just not going to play certain guys. You're going to play only your 4th line guys. It's just that's not the way it really works. Unfortunately, like SH #T happens. Brandon doesn't have to get that out, right?
No, I think we're going to be okay with that. Hey, we're going to
I mentioned The Athletic?
We're going to give a couple more promo codes. Well, we will try to wrestle a final thought out of Michael. Again, Bite Squad, bitesquad.com, Bite Squad app. Talk North is the promo code, free delivery. Please do that. It would help us out a lot. And Michael, you had a promo code?
Oh, yeah, theathletic.com/IKnowRusso, 40% off. I know I've been joking about it all show, but I'm telling you, this site is amazing. And there's just great stories, not just here in Minnesota, even though Jimmy Butler sting is like keeping us all employed right now. Thank God for John Krasinski and the Jimmy Butler story. Oh, my Lord.
By the way, I want to make sure listeners heard it. Did you say it was all lowercase?
Yeah. theathletic.com/IKnowRusso. And again, no pop-ups, no anything. And again, the way it works is that if you're not an Athletic subscriber, is that you create your feed. And it's all the same price. So you can have as little as something or everything. You could follow everything. You could follow all 6 or 7 leagues. We have a college football and basketball portal. We have Inc., which is our long-form like Sports Illustrated type stories portal. But then you could follow by author. So like some people at our site are just like incredible Katie Strang fans or Ken Rosenthal fans. So you could follow them by name, or you could follow, you might be a huge Chicago Cubs fan, or say like, what's interesting is like right now, like say the Kansas City Chiefs are just on fire right now, and you're kind of interested by them. You just temporarily want to follow them and get them on your feed. So that's a really neat thing. You can follow by city, league, things like that. So theathletic.com/IKnowRusso for 40% off. Tell your friends.
And I'm a Star Tribune employee, and we also have a subscription-based business. Please, and you know what? It just doesn't cost that much money to subscribe to both Star Tribune and The Athletic and get great quality journalism, because quality journalism will go away if people don't pay for it. So pay for it.
And I'm a subscriber to the Strib still.
Yeah, you can do both.
I'm glad I am. There was a shooting in my neighborhood the other day, and it was nice to be able to read about it.
Ooh, yeah, it was rough.
I knew somebody that was right by it when it happened. You know the one I'm talking about? The one, the musician that was shot in the stomach?
Yep.
Just held up. I don't know what's going on in my neighborhood. I used to brag about my neighborhood that you could walk at all hours of the night and feel completely safe, that you were downtown, but not really downtown where I lived.
Right.
And now it's just like crime's coming to our area. So maybe I'm leaving at the right time.
Well, and I'm leaving next summer, so maybe we're getting out at the right time. But I love this area
We're going
of town.
to both be out in the burbs.
I know. I love this area of town. I'm moving because my wife has to. She's
you know what Russo Slacks has been doing lately is he'll send me just random direct messages with a picture, and I'll be like, "What is that?" And he goes, "Oh, that's how you winterize your home." I'm like, "What? What do you mean? What?" And he's like, "Yeah, you're gonna be doing that soon," or "Here, this is salt for your stuff that I've never done in my life." That he's just reminding me, this is what you're gonna have to start doing. Isn't he a jackass?
Pretty little city built on a hillside. Music in the bars and fire in the sky. We went to the beach and it was covered in ice. And I used to call it home. much coming out, there's nothing going in. I know that you feel like you're never gonna win. Oh, but the world won't forgive a winner.
Perception in town that you're this negative, throw fire against buildings type writer. Just
throw fire against buildings type writer.
This season, all your favorites have one home for the holidays. Yours with Disney Plus.
Merry Christmas!
Moana, Woody, Buzz, Captain Marvel, Darth Vader, and Homer will all be there, so make room. Make Disney Plus your home for the holidays. Streaming Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, Nat Geo, and 30 seasons of The Simpsons. That's something to celebrate.
Merry Christmas to you!
All these and more now streaming. Go to DisneyPlus.com to sign up now.
Buckle up, because Metro is bringing you the best deal in wireless. Switch to Metro and get your choice of 2 awesome free phones from top brands like Samsung and LG with huge HD screens and tons of memory for all your pics and videos. So hurry into Metro and get your awesome free phones only at Metro. Plus sales tax and activation fee. Requires port-in of eligible number not currently active on T-Mobile network or active on Metro in past 90 days. Limit 4 per account or household. Restrictions apply. See store for details and terms and conditions.